room, and Tim Ryan was talking about, oh, well, we need to campaign in all 50 states and whatnot. Like, weren't you just positioning yourself as a centrist not too long ago? Like, which lane are you going to get in, and once you pick one, then fucking stay in it. Like, I don't get these people. Like, I don't know why they're running. John Hickenlooper, I know why he's running, at least because he's kind of the John Kasich of this race, where he's like, oh, I'm the sensible moderate, even though I'm shitty, but I'm the sensible moderate. But like for Tim Ryan, Eric Swalwell, these people don't have anything that you know that's going to lead to them getting a real base of support. And I'll happily eat my words. Well, I won't happily eat my words, but I'll eat my words and stand corrected if I'm wrong. But like, I want to talk to an Eric Swalwell supporter, for example, and ask them why he's their number one, or a John Hickenlooper supporter. That would be really interesting. And ask them, like, what is it about John Hickenlooper? Because you have 20 candidates, or more than 20. Why would you support this person? You have no reason to. Whatever boxes they check, there's another candidate who's more charismatic that will do better. And, I'm just confused. There's so many people who don't need to be running. I don't know if you heard, there's another guy that jumped into the race this last week. I can't even think of his name. Joseph something. His last name starts with an S. It's like, why are these people running? Stop.
Right. Right. I'm sorry. We had a issue on the stream apparently where we dropped for a second.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see what's going on. Weird. All right. Well, if you were watching and we dropped, sorry about that. I have the whole show recording locally, so it will be part of the podcast. You will miss nothing. But we're still gonna keep going for a little bit longer. We'll go for another one. Like, you got another 10 minutes, Mike?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm on the West Coast, so it's earlier for me than it is for you.
Right.
I know it's late for you. What time is it for you? It's
It's
gotta be like
it's
1?
almost 2 a.m.
Almost 2.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And tomorrow, programming note, everybody. Tomorrow, I will be in studio guest for the Majority Report with Sam Cedar. I will be making my journey back home to my old stomping grounds of the Majority Report. Sam was making fun of me apparently on their Twitch stream earlier today. Not earlier, earlier today I guess is technically right, but during the debate, because I had forgotten how to get to the studio. So I asked him for the address. I only went there for I was working there for 5 years. That studio was the studio for 2 or 3 of the years. But it's been a long time, so I forgot how to get there. He had to remind me. Sue me.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, I would have forgotten too, because there's no internal compass in me. Like, people make fun of me all the time. I'm horrible at this. Like, I don't know what direction is north, south. And if I'm getting directions, I need a landmark. Like, okay, do I turn at the McDonald's? Don't tell me the street. Just tell me I need this fucking kindergarten explanation. So I'm probably worse than you to make you feel better.
Why, thank you. I'll take that.
Yes, take it.
So what else can we talk about? Well, I think on night 2, without a doubt, I think it's hard to say anyone other than this, no matter how you feel about her, to be honest. Kamala Harris won tonight. She won the second night. Hands down. It's not even close. I'm sorry. As much as I love Bernie, it's her going after Biden, how she did, was so good that I will, it moves her up in my book as well, to be honest with you.
Well, because it's what it does, and I agree with that. I'm also thinking about who is going to be good against Donald Trump and hit them and be charismatic. And yeah, I think she proved that, she's electable and whatnot. That's something that people are thinking about. Electability is huge. I think that Bernie's the best bet, because I am of the mind that we've got to have a far left candidate to energize the base to win. But with that being said, when you look at someone like Elizabeth Warren, I am worried if, she went up against Trump, if she would be able to hit him as hard as someone like Kamala. I think she did well, but yeah, she went up just in terms of, I think she's more, electable. And I think a lot of people in lefty media, even if we were all obviously behind Bernie, people were noting that she has political talent. You don't have to support her to acknowledge that, she does know what she's doing. And she's one to look out for sure, because she's going to give the rest of the candidates a run for their money. I think she's probably going to outlast the Buttigieg's, certainly the Beto's, of the race. I think Beto's almost done.
Right. We didn't even talk about Beto. Oh my God.
We missed Beto, yeah.
Your first time, the last time you were on this show, the first time you were on this show, We did a whole hour and 10-minute long episode right when just on Beto when he jumped into the race. If there is any sort of proof of just how far Beto has fallen, the guy is. We talked about Eric Swalwell, Tim Ryan, Hickenlooper, Williamson, Yang, De Blasio. We even mentioned Delaney, and we forgot about Beto. There is, combined both nights, no matter how bad anyone did, no one did worse, and I include Biden too, because as hard as he was hit, he's probably not going to fall, not yet at least, as much as Beto is probably going to fall after that first night of his debate. Beto was a footnote in a debate where it was a bunch of footnotes. He should have been right up there with Warren as stealing the show. And if anything, not only did he underdeliver, he got destroyed, wrecked by everyone on that stage who went at him.
Julian Castro ripped him, and that was great to watch. Here's what I'm curious about, because I don't want to say, because I'm terrible at predictions and I don't want to jinx it, but I feel like at the rate he's going, I don't know how he's going to have the money to sustain a campaign. He's at the rate he's going, he's got to drop out after Iowa, but does he even make it to Iowa at this point? Given how he's lost so much momentum, you only have so much money to get you to a certain point. And he had a big boost at the beginning, so that's going to give him a little bit of longevity. But overall, you've got to have money. And I just see the support getting lower and lower. He's dropping in the polls. Will he even make it to Iowa? It's tough to say. I think probably he will, but if he does, he's got to be out after Iowa, maybe New Hampshire.
It's amazing that this was the guy who jumped in the race. Asterisk next to this, but that's how it was promoted. The guy who outraised Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
And all the Bernie haters jumped behind him as this is our guy to defeat Bernie and win. And he is polling. He's polling lower than I think Yang in some.
He tied with Mike Gravel, I believe.
It's just
someone who doesn't actually want to be president.
Right.
He tied with them. Dude, what are you doing with your life? What are you doing with your life? And everybody who's telling him, run for Senate, run for Senate. No, because now there's somebody running for Senate challenging John Cornyn, who is better, Sema Hernandez. So it's dude, just go away now. we don't need you. We wanted you to defeat Ted Cruz, and I think that he thought that was just us endorsing him overall, but it was, no, dude, you weren't Ted Cruz. We wanted you to defeat Ted Cruz, but now we have no use for you. So go away. Right.
No, that's literally he. The people who say Bernie is an egotistical maniac completely miss the fact that they're legit egotistical maniacs in this race. And Beto believed the hype. He thought he was what everyone was saying he was. Legitimately, he thought he was the guy to save everyone from Cruz, and then he was the guy to save everyone from Trump. And clearly, he was not quite accurate on his assessment of himself.
Yeah. To say he misread the room was the understatement of the century. It almost makes me feel, not really, but a little bit bad for him, because it's that's got to be a blow to your ego. These types of people, they need their ego to kind of be put in check. But he's got to be feeling like shit, because he just thought, oh, we're going straight to the White House. I have so much momentum. Oh, what an embarrassment. What an embarrassment. And what is he? I don't know what Beto stands for. He has some relatively good proposals. Do you ever hear him talking about it? No. And what's the most embarrassing part?
Excuse me, Mike. Excuse me. How dare you? The guy just unveiled his plan to tax us a military tax.
Oh, God, I forgot.
Anyone who doesn't join the military will be levied a tax. It will cost you money to join the military or be part of a military family. Excuse you, Mike. How dare you? How dare you misrepresent Beto?
I forgot about that. Did you hear that he relaunched his campaign as well? Because when he launched, if you noticed, he didn't do any like media appearances. He didn't do his CNN town hall. So like a couple of months afterwards, when he started to tank, he did a relaunch where he rebranded himself. Then he started going on The View. He had his CNN town hall, and then he got, I think, a slight boost after that, and then he started going down again. So it's like he's frantically trying to figure out a way to plug the holes in the sinking ship that is Beto. And for whatever reason, he thinks attacks on people who aren't in the military is the way to do that. All right, keep at it, buddy. Let's see how that works out for you.
Right. His whole thing was that he didn't need to do the media. He was going on an anti-media tour where he was only going to do direct town halls with the people of Iowa and New Hampshire, and he wasn't going to go on any shows, take any questions, and
How cocky and arrogant of you when there are 20 fucking people, more than 20 people running the race. Like, I mean, he has no strategy. The fact that he got a lot of momentum against Ted Cruz, I think he underestimated how much of that was because he was running against Ted Cruz, and he thought it was all because of him. No, it was because you were running against Ted Cruz. I would vote for a turd over Ted Cruz, and I literally mean that. So he doesn't realize why he got popular in the first place, and I'm sure he's realizing that now, but what a failure.
I wonder though. Now that I think about it, I do wonder: is he going to make it to Iowa? Because he does have the money, because he's got all that big backing. But will they stick around? Will he run out of it and then end up, blowing it all on who knows what? Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see for that one.
I think if the establishment is going to be strategic. And, if Bernie and Warren stay relatively high in the polls, I think there's going to be pressure from leadership for him to drop out and consolidate support. Kind of like the way that we saw in 2016 with Donald Trump. They wanted to defeat Donald Trump, so they were like, okay, let's go with, Marco Rubio now. He's our guy because Jeb Bush tanked. And now it's like, oh, he shit the bed. Let's go with, Ted Cruz now. So I kind of feel like at some point they're going to have to start consolidating support because there's just too many candidates. And Beto obviously isn't going anywhere. So, he has the money. If he makes it to Iowa, I don't know. I don't want to say I'd be surprised, but I just can't see him going past Iowa. I feel like if there's no movement, he's got to tap out after New Hampshire at the most because, it's not happening, All
right. I almost feel like we spent too much time talking about Beto, even though we just remembered he was in the race. Is there anyone that you want to talk about that we haven't talked about already? I'm trying to... Honestly, I should probably have a list of who's in this race in front of me. But I'm trying to think who, if we didn't... we mentioned Delaney. He's a joke. He's not going to... we talk about a guy out of... totally running in the wrong year in terms of...
Do you see how many likes his tweets get? They get 10. And he posts these town hall photos where there's 4 people in attendance. And I always will catch myself quote tweeting to make fun of it. Then I'm like, no, this is kind of sad. I shouldn't. This is punching down. We're to that point where he has so little support that a YouTube political commentator will just have people end up flocking if I draw attention to it. And I just feel bad at this point.
Right. I wouldn't feel bad. These are presidential candidates, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're a nice guy, Mike. You're a nice guy.
I'm trying not to crush his soul, even though I have made fun of him, and I don't know if I feel bad about that. I've clowned on him. We've all dunked on Delaney at one point, but I try not to go below the belt. But some of these candidates are such jokes that it's so difficult, and they're such targets for me to make fun of them that I can't hold back sometimes. But I try.
Right. All right, Mike. I think we covered all of these the bases here with this debate. Who do you think? What is your look for after? Let me reset here because I'm stuttering all over myself. It's 2 a.m.
It's late. It's
after these two nights of debates. Where do you think the top 5 are sitting? Who are the top 5? Where are they? Who gained from these debates? Who lost from these debates?
Okay. I think Joe Biden, we should start to see a bigger decrease. That's kind of what I'm expecting after this debate. I'm expecting a pretty big bump for Kamala. I'm expecting Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders to kind of stay the same. Um, and that's basically top four, like Bernie, Warren, Kamala, and I forgot who the fourth person was. And then I think there's going to be somebody else, like a Castro or a Booker, who might sneak into the top five and kind of.
Buttigieg.
Yeah. I think somebody's going to probably replace Buttigieg as that kind of like fifth place person. And I don't know who it's going to be yet, but I'd say it's going to be between like Booker or Castro. Maybe Gillibrand, but probably not. I think she had a good performance overall, but I do think you bring up a really good point that she's really transparent and rehearsed. So I don't think we're going to see too much movement. The largest from these debates is going to be Biden and Kamala. Biden's going to dip, I think, and Kamala is probably going to surge a little bit. What's going to be interesting to watch is if she can maintain that, because she had a big boost at the beginning and then it kind of trailed off. So we'll see what she does with that, if I'm right and she does get that. But that's kind of my overall sense. But anything can happen because there's so many people running. You never know.
Right. Yeah, I agree mostly with that. Your assessment. I think Biden will drop. We're gonna begin to see it. Whether he trades places with someone as the first place person right off the bat, I don't know. But that percentage gap between him and the second and third place candidates, that gap is gonna close big time. And I think you're gonna see Bernie, Kamala, and Warren probably swap places for a bit until we get further as second, third, fourth, maybe even first, second, third, like a rotating group there. Until we get further into the debates where it just gets down to further down to just them, and then they can just really go at each other, and then people will be able to figure out who they really want to get behind.
Totally agree.
I do think maybe there'll be that wild card, like a Buttigieg or a Castro or a Booker. I don't know how far they'll get. I don't know how long they'll stay in it, but I do think there probably will be that wild card. I don't know who it'll be. Yeah, I think we're on the same page. And the real question to me is, for me personally, I think a question is, does Bernie get any bump out of this? Because personally, I don't think he did good. He did not do great. I think he will maybe gain some supporters, but not enough to get some huge boost. He didn't do bad, so he won't lose anybody. But will the bump be big enough to sort of be shown in the polls? That's my personal question as a Bernie supporter. But I think the real big question that everyone's going to want to see is that how much did this hurt Biden? That's the real question, because I don't know. I know we all see this and we think Kamala schooled him, and she definitely will rise in the polls. But the real question is that Democratic voter who likes Biden to begin with, will they even care? Will they even care? So that's the real will they even care about what Kamala brought up to him? That heartfelt, real life experience that, I don't know, if in a perfect world Biden would have stepped off that stage in that moment and bent the knee to Kamala and said, I quit, I drop out, you win.
Yeah.
Take my place as the pick from the Democratic establishment.
Yeah.
But
I endorse you, my lady.
Yes. He turns into Jaime Lannister and knights Brienne of Tarth. Yeah. Oh man.
There's a lot. I don't even know.
Where are we going with this?
We're gonna go down a really bad rabbit hole, I feel like, where we're gonna get into Game of Thrones and then back to Beto.
Right. Listen, speaking of people dropping off the face of the planet, can you believe that Game of Thrones was a popular show just a few months ago this year? Like, that last season was so bad that people went from...
I'm still butthurt.
People went from, like, being consumed by this show. People not being able to stop talking about it for weeks. Like, it consumed 24/7. It lived in their dreams and their imaginations. To literally... Game of Thrones, I forgot it was a show that was on this year, and was that
Yeah.
popular. Like that's how
I
bad.
stopped thinking about it.
That's how bad that last season was. Unbelievable.
Hmm.
I'm watching Deadwood right now, by the way. If you want to talk about TV shows, because I never
I
saw
haven't.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never saw it.
Oh, okay, yeah, I haven't.
And there's a movie that just came out this year. After the show went off air years ago, they put out a new movie. So I want to watch the movie. So I'm watching
Oh,
Deadwood
okay.
now. Yeah.
You know what? That's smart. I'm in a show hole currently is the term I think. And so I like we just rewatched Stranger Things, and now I'm trying to make it through like The Handmaid's Tale. But yeah, I don't know what to watch after Game of Thrones. I felt very like butthurt, and I didn't want to get into another like big show because it ended very
All right.
shittily. But yeah, I'll check out Deadwood because I need something else.
Oh yeah, I meant to ask you, Mike. This is a little bit off topic. Watch
Mhm.
Deadwood. Is your channel YouTube monetized?
Yes,
So I recently was demonetized. I don't have a huge YouTube audience, but I did have
your
monetization.
entire channel was.
My entire channel was demonetized, and it was right. It was a few days after I did an interview with members of Boston DSA who were putting together the counter protest to that white supremacist straight pride parade.
They demonetized your entire channel.
My entire channel was demonetized. Again, I wasn't making a ton of money. I was making enough where it was paying for like my podcast hosting fees, like every other month or something.
Yeah.
But still, it's not nothing when you're starting something, you know.
Yeah.
And I was demonetized, which means I also lose my super chat benefits. They didn't tell me why, and
Can you contest it or like make noise about it? Like if I feel like if you go on Twitter and you tweet at them and get enough people to like draw attention to it, I feel like that can get some type of traction because I don't know if you remember like the Surfs. I don't know what happened to them.
Well, their
when
whole
they were
channel was
demonetized.
deleted.
Oh, it was deleted. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they got that brought back. So I feel like there's got to be some way for you to fight this. That's such bullshit.
Yes.
Holy crap.
That's a good idea, and you know what? I think tomorrow when I'm on the Majority Report, it might be a great time to galvanize those forces.
Look, we'll go to war for you. I'll retweet it and whatnot. And you have a very huge gift. Like, if you were a Republican, you would have been on Fox News talking about this already. So, pull out that victim card. We'll help you out, bud, because that's bullshit.
The funny thing is, I made that point when I got demonetized, and you're right. If I was a right winger, I would have. Right now, I would have made probably $100,000. I would have gained about 1 million YouTube subscribers.
Yeah.
I would have it would be ridiculous how much money and fame I would have been able to bounce off of getting demonetized from YouTube. Yet
Ted Cruz would have introduced the Matt Binder Act.
Right. And I'm not going to correct you there. That my last name
Did I
is
fuck
Binder.
up your name?
Yeah. It's Binder, but it's all good. I don't mind it.
I see Binder, but my heart was in the right place. I hope you can understand.
No, I totally
After
get
you
it.
got my name right. After you got my name right.
Listen, I'm used to. Listen, I gotta tell you, I'm used to looking at people talk about Amy Klobuchar and being like, I don't recall her like throwing me across a room. What's going on?
Well, it's weird because like. I
We just
don't
brought
think
her
I've
up
ever-
too. We forgot about her. She was like a major name for a while.
Yeah. And to get back to your name thing, I don't think I've ever heard your name like said out loud. Like I've watched you for years and whatnot, but I don't think I've ever heard your name said out loud.
It's possible. But a lot of people called me Binder when I was on the Majority Report. But it's also possible you just heard them call me. Well, nowadays I'm old Matt because the guy Matt Leck who replaced me is new Matt.
New Matt.
I'll be honest though, there's this. I do believe from just the experience of seeing tweets and stuff, there's a significant portion of Majority Report listeners who do not know that we're two separate people, and they think I'm still working there. I'm just from
Really?
tweets I get where it's like, oh, it's like at Sam, at Michael, at me. Guys, the stream just went down. Literally, like 2 years out now from me last working there. 3 years out now. 4 years almost out now from me last working there. I still get like tweets where it's like, guys, the stream just went down, which I don't mind. I love being part of that family, but I feel bad that they think I could do something to fix it.
Looking into it.
Yeah. Guy, what I should do next time is like, stream just went back up, but you got to go to youtube.com/Matt Binder.
Yeah. You totally should do that.
Oh, man. Mike Figueredo. All right, let me see if I got this. Here we go. Mike Figueredo. Did I get it?
That's perfect. Yeah,
there
that's perfect. Let me try you one more time, okay?
All right.
Matt Binder.
Ooh, you got it, buddy. I know it's a hard one. Once you know it, it's a hard one still. But
I had to think for a minute before saying it because I was worried.
All right, guys, I'm actually going to jump off with Mike. This is the whole show today. I'm not going to... Usually I read the comments and go on for about an hour and a half, usually longer, hanging out with you guys. But it's 2 a.m. here, so I'm not going to be doing... 2:15 actually now. So patreon.com/Matt Binder to support this show. YouTube.com/Matt Binder to subscribe to this show. Mike, where could people find the Humanist Report if they're not familiar with your show?
HumanistReport.com has links to my YouTube channel, my social media, Twitter, all of that. It's the main hub, so you could just go there and find what I'm about at HumanistReport.com.
All right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed our post-debate coverage of the Democratic primary, the first 2 nights of the Democratic primary debates. Is this like the longest? Not the longest. Is this like the earliest these debates have ever been? I know like the Republican clown card debates usually started around August, back when there were so many Republicans. But I don't remember a debate ever starting this early. Who knows?
The last time it was in October. We got the first debate in October. That was when the DNC was like limiting debates. There were 6 at first. Right. So this is early. And then the next one is in July. I don't know if there's one in August. But it's nice to have debates this early,
I agree.
Especially when there's so many candidates.
I agree. And Mike, I hope you will join us for future talks about post-debate analysis. Let's put it that way.
I'm down.
Awesome.
Always down, Matt.
Awesome. Enjoy your 3 extra hours that you have over me being on the West Coast.
I will.
Take care. And
you
folks, see you all next time on Doomed.